You know what? This started, as you mentioned, 100 years ago, so we're celebrating the centennial. And when, in 1912, when those four ranchers, the big four, got together and put the money together for the Stampede, there were 70,000 people who attended. Do you know how many people are attending this year's Stampede, Centennial Stampede?
I bet it's a ton.
1.5 million. But you know what, Sean?
70,000 people back then is, especially in a land that is not all that populated at the time. It's kind of like a, $20 back then is a lot of money.
You know what they said? The only people who didn't come to Stampede in 1912 were either in hospital or in jail. But those ranchers, the big four that we talked about, they have an incredible legacy. And Sean, we've got some guests joining us who are family members of the big four, the founding fathers, if you will, of the Calgary Stampede. If you guys want to join us up here, that'd be great. Jill Cross joining us. Michael Lane, come on up here. I feel like I'm doing a game show. And Dean Burns. This is Sean Johnston. I'm Sue Hanna. I want to ask you guys what it feels like, Michael, if I could start with you, on this 100th, the centennial celebration of cowboy culture, to know that the roots came from your family.
That's a daunting way of putting it. It's very exciting. It's very humbling. And it feels very proud to know that all of this comes from our ancestors.
What about for you, Jill? What does it mean for you to be celebrating 100 years after that 1912 first event?
Well, it's nostalgic. It's also a tremendous amount of pride. Our family is very involved with the Calgary Stampede, and I have to say, every time I go through those gates the very first day of Stampede, I do think about A.E. Cross and the legacy that he started.
Now, back in the origin of the Calgary Stampede, Guy Weedick was the man, the entertainment man that came to your ancestors to.
He was the idea guy.
He was the idea guy. So, has there been any speak of that in your family, the Guy Weedick legacy?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a great book out now. I think it's called The First Stampede of Floris Ledoux, and talks about who was. Guy Weedick's wife, or Guy Weedick's wife, and I know there's a niece of Guy Weedick's in Montana who I think is coming up for the 100th anniversary. So, yeah, you don't usually go very long.
That's
the
pretty
mention
cool.
of Guy Weedick's name or his legacy.
And big First Nations. Involvement as well. I can see that, you look fabulous. You all look great. I love the hats. I'm missing something on my hat. I got white hatted today by the mayor. Can you give me 10 seconds? Sean, over to you.
Okay, right on. So, do you guys attend every year? I'm sure you do. Blood runs pretty thick in the Calgary Stampede, yes? Can you tell us what a favorite memory is of the Calgary Stampede?
Well, I think, a favorite memory for me are probably, the little bumper cars or the little donuts. But and anytime there's a mention of Uncle Pat or they show his picture, or I remember being called up on stage once in the grandstand for the grandstand show, and they got my name wrong. It was my 15 seconds of fame, and they introduced me to 25,000 people as Paul Burns. But that was kind of a nice memory.
Did Pat compete? Was he a cowboy in this?
No, he was. Unlike the other two ranchers, he was in the meat business before he became a rancher. So he never was a cowboy. He was a good horseman. Yeah. And
had to be, didn't you?
Yeah, but he
sure
was never a
did.
cowboy.
Jill, let me ask you as well what your favorite memory is, if there is one. Oh, and can you notice? I got it. I'm not missing the hat part anymore.
And it looks darn good.
This is peer pressure, okay? All four of you had hats, and I had to go get mine. That is peer pressure. Your memory.
Well, you know what? There's not just one. There's so many. We made, as a family, traditions. I remember going with my grandparents and my parents and my cousins all to the grandstand show, the opening night, the first time the opportunity to see the opening show, the chuck wagon races, riding the Super Loop with my dad, eating Tom Thumb donuts. He would take time out of his day.
Before you rode the Super Loop?
No, we did it after. We did it after. That was his little treat to me. So as I say, there's so many great memories that we continue to cheer.
Michael, leave us with one of yours, because I've got one of mini donuts. There are 2 million mini donuts going to be eaten at this Stampede. I'm full of these facts.
I've been trying to explain the mini donuts to my wife, who's from New York and has no concept of what they are. So that'll be a highlight of this year's Stampede for our family. For me, in our family, gambling was never really approved of, except for once a year during the chuck wagon races, when it was highly encouraged. And that's how I learned to gamble as a very young person. Flash forward about 10 years, and as a teenager, my older brother snuck me into the casino, where collectively we won about $100 at the blackjack table that we were not supposed to be at, which we then went to the Midway and spent. But that's one of my fondest Stampede memories.
Excellent. Well, you know what? A total pleasure meeting all of you. My heart swells with pride that I've got 3 ancestors of the Big Four here. So big yahoo to you. Did I get that right? Yes. Because earlier I said hee-haw. Anyway, quite the pleasure.
Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations, you guys. You know, the legacy of an event like this can only run deeper than people can imagine. I know it's got to be a very difficult thing for you guys to be put on the spot every year, and I know you are. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the 10 days. All right.
Right on.
Hey, Sean,
Have some fun.
I know you
Stay
probably
out of that casino, dude.
I know you probably want to rope them all back because they're full of great stories, and you know how to rope, right?
I rope a little bit. I'm not a cowboy roper to compete in the Calgary Stampede in the rodeo, but you know what? If a pretty girl just sort of ran by here, I bet I could rope her.
Oh, there we go. Well, you know who we've just roped? Adam Beach, Arctic Air Star, and Leah Gibson. Come on up to both of you. You look the parts. Hello, Adam. Hi, Leah.
Hello.
Good to see you. Mwah. There's an odd way of kissing with cowboy
Well,
hats.
wait a minute.
Because
Yeah, there you go.
You're not supposed to do it real? I thought this was real.
Adam, you could hang him upside down or horsewhip him or something if you want.
I wasn't taking notes. That was a smooth duck and under. Like that. It was just smooth.
Leah, you've got it down pat. You have to duck and turn, otherwise your hat goes awry.
This whole time I've been like this.
Well, it's a cowboy way. You can't take your hat off every day, so every moment. I mean, so you have to learn the duck and move.
That's right. And one other thing you can't take off is your boots, as I've discovered. Because once they're on, baby, they're on. Adam, I do want to ask you, though, what you're looking forward to most about Stampede?
Wow, I'm just looking to go check out Cowboys. I heard it's a good bar out here. I want to
some cowgirls.
I want to see the rodeo. You know, just kind of see everybody in their moment of just living the cowboy life, you know.
And isn't it fun kind of people watching as people free themselves from their high-heeled shoes and their suits and ties, and they get their bolos and their cowboy hats and their boots on? Don't you find that they kind of have this different spirit?
Yeah, you stand up straighter, kind of looking that way, going, how you doing?
Little slant to the eye.
Every day for this boy. That's every day for this boy.
Yeah. I need some chew, something, you know.
And then you need a spittoon. Leah Gibson, what about for you? What are you looking forward to most? And that would be corralling this guy away from all the cowboys and cowgirls.
I'm enjoying my boy in this cowboy getup. I'm enjoying the hat and the boots. I want to check out a rodeo.
Well, you check it all out. Well, thank you both. Enjoy it, and a pleasure to both of you. Big gala coming up. I know you got a role in that, so we'll see you again on the air.
So, do I get another dance with you? Well, the music was good, though. How can you hear that kind of music and not
Sean,
want
was
to
that
rip it
the
up?
two-step you were doing?
You know,
Is that what that
I
was?
don't know.
Can you do it? Can you show us?
I grew
Leah,
up in a
come
town. I grew up in a town called Ponoka. I'm an Alberta boy, and so this world is not real foreign to me. I call that the Ponoka hustle shuffle. It's just something I learned when I was a kid from my mom and my dad, and you know, when there's a pretty girl there, I want to just do the Ponoka hustle shuffle.
Well, you guys, you know what? I wish we had footage of that because you guys were great on the dance floor. We've got a whole bunch of other guests we want to talk to. Thank you. Enjoy the Stampede. It's 100 years. Leah Gibson and Adam Beach joining us here. Adam with Arctic Air, and Leah, his lovely, lovely, beautiful cowgirl girlfriend. Right. And Sean and I have a whole bunch of people that we are going to talk to. And one of them right now, coming over that rainbow.
Oh, here he is.
Yes, he is. Darren Jones.
Over the
is
rainbow.
In the house.
Hello, good to see you
I
both.
see you've dressed up in your cowboy gear.
Yeah, you know what? I got the memo a little late, and I thought I'll put on a jacket, and I'm happy to be at this party, you know?
And you said Stampede? What is the Stampede?
Don't act like you didn't steal my hat from the nightstand.
Oh, listen to you, buddy.
Yeah.
I think this time is up for us, duel.
I put the hat down, you left some change on the dresser, and you took my hat. Come on, Suanna, come on.
That's a long story, folks. Hey, what are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to most?
You know, I love this stamp. I actually grew up in Calgary. Yeah, so I love you know, the rodeo, the chuck wagon race is a lot of fun. The what's the one where they tie up
The calf roping.
yeah, the
down
calf
roping.
roping, exactly. And also, let's not forget the Tiny Tim donuts, the little sugar donuts.
Yeah.
Let's not act like it's all rodeo.
Suhanna just said they're going to serve 2 million mini donuts.
Is that right?
Yeah, 2 million mini donuts get eaten at the Calgary Stampede. And you know what else they have this year? There are 17 new foods. Okay, I got this head full of facts. There is deep fried Kool-Aid. I can't even imagine how they do that. And deep fried wagon wheels. Does that turn your crank?
Yeah, so does cholesterol. Have fun, Calgary. What a great party. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. One of the great things, you go, you buy your lottery tickets, you get your Tiny Tim donuts, you do a couple of rides, you hope they don't fall apart, you go see the rodeo, you have some drinks, and away you go.
You were at the pancake breakfast this morning as well. How was that?
Sure was. I was doing sausages, so apologies to anybody out there. Arlene, I hope you're feeling better. I served you a bad sausage, and I apologize.
Okay, I think you're referring to the fact that Arlene sent the text, Darren Jones made me sick.
She's not the first to say that. No, not at all.
You know what? Your viewers love you as host of Over the Rainbow.
What about you?
How's the show going anyway?
Show's going really well. We went across the country. As you know, we're looking for the lead for Dorothy on stage, the big Mervish production of The Wizard of Oz. We got like 100 girls flown into the broadcast center in Toronto from across the country. A lot of people from Calgary. A lot of girls coming in. We cut it down to 20. That's where we're at now. We're shooting all summer long, and then in the fall, in September, you'll see how we got from 100 to 20, then to 10, and then it's up to people at home to vote who they love the most.
You know what? That's such a fabulous show to be part of because you're making a dream come true. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you know what? These girls, you know, Dorothy, the role, 16 years, 18-year-olds, none of these girls are jaded. They're not like the rest of the humps backstage, you know, bitter
I think he was
showbiz guys.
referring to you, Sean.
Yes, exactly. No, these girls, and they can sing, and so it's gonna not one bad singer in the bunch. So to whittle it down to one is going to be a very, very difficult challenge.
Oh, he was born in Calgary. Did you hear him say whittle?
Yeah, I did.
Do you
Nicely
know how
done,
to,
man.
Do you know how to whittle?
My father was a whittler.
We're all whittlers of a sort.
Whittlers of sort. That's right.
So you grew up in this town. So how many times have you been to the Calgary Stampede?
Well, I lived here for about 4 years when I was younger. And, you know, you go every year. It's marked on the calendar.
Yeah.
You got to go see it. And so to be back for the 100 is a very cool thing.
Well, you can't have a stampede without a midway, and that's where we learn a lot of our vices, isn't it?
Is that mustache fake?
Leave it to Darren. Leave it to Darren. You know, he can rope.
Really?
Yeah.
A little bit.
So if you try to pull his mustache and run away,
I wouldn't
this is
dare.
what Sean does. He goes into his back pocket, he pulls out this long rope, and he ties it into a knot. He pulls you back, Darren Jones.
If we had a rope here, I would actually show you.
Are you serious?
We
You could
should get a
actually-
rope. We're live. We're in Cowtown. What? We can't find a rope in Calgary?
It's just the internet. Let's put the mics down and wander away and go find a rope. I'd love to see this. Really? Have you ever done the bucking bronco?
No, I've never ridden a bucking horse.
Because that's serious business.
That is serious business. You know what? 8 seconds for me is long enough at the best of times.
What about one of those mechanical bull things?
Oh,
You know, when you
yeah.
drink too much and you get on one of those bulls? Have you done
Who
that?
hasn't been on one of those?
Oh, I really haven't.
Joanna, last night, come on.
The hat, the money, back to that story.
You know, and people are being all, classy tonight, but let's be honest, the partying and the boozing and the fun to be had at the Stampede is a huge part of it.
You're absolutely right.
This town turns upside down. I've been here for 6 years now, shooting Heartland, of course, and I've seen transitions from May into June, then into July. And when July rolls around, this town comes unglued.
I like the way you say July.
Do you know, you're a head full of facts, how many people come to Calgary for the Stampede?
1.5 million.
Is that
and
true?
did you know that 70% of the people who actually go to Stampede are from the area, that it's 30% tourists? So that tells you that this is a real community spirit thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or anything else you want to know?
What's the capital
Come
of
on, hit
Missouri?
me.
You can't do that.
We can't do
We gotta
that.
focus.
That's right. We gotta focus. Anyway, pleasure talking to you.
Oh, that's it?
Do you want it to be longer?
No.
Okay, then
No.
you're off the hook.
All right. You guys are a fabulous job. It's nice to see you in Calgary. This is so much fun.
Nice to see you, man.
Okay, bye.
See you later.
Darren
See
Jones,
You bet.
host of Over the Rainbow, and as he mentioned, they are whittling it down, so that's a show you don't want to miss, because in the end, Sean, somebody's dream comes true. Now, let me ask you about dreams. Doing Heartland, as a star on that CBC program, is that a dream for you?
It is a dream for me. You know, I grew up here. I grew up in Alberta, so I call Calgary home, just like I call Edmonton home, and my hometown, Ponoka, Alberta. Born and raised there. The ranching life is basically what Heartland is all about. We've got our hero, Amy, who is a horse whisperer of sorts, and we deal with healed horses and we heal horses and heal the spirit of the human being.
I think it's a wonderful
And
point
that's
to a
one of the
show.
things that I think got through to me from my grandfather and my father. And one of the things that I try to teach my kids is the spirit of the human being and the codes of honor and things like that. And that makes me ultra proud to be a part of Heartland, because that's what we're telling.
Hey, I got somebody from the community
Bring
that
'em
knows
on.
all about the community.
Ooh.
Come on up here, Mayor of Calgary, ladies and gentlemen, Naheed Nenshi. This is the man who did this to me.
Come on
this
inside.
morning in style.
Get on the inside.
Have you been able to take it off yet, Sienna?
Well, I don't want to because I'm afraid to. You told me that I have to wear it all the time.
That is true. Now that you're an honorary Calgarian, it's important that you leave it on 24/7. But our real issue today was the boots.
Yeah.
Have you found a cowboy to help you take the boots off yet?
And he's pointing to you, Sean. Okay, this is a very tough thing to do because I got them on, Sean.
Okay.
And I think you're the one who could probably yank them off.
I could get him off you. I could get him off you.
Mayor, you know what? Every time we talk, you get me in trouble. Every time we talk, this man gets me in
A little
trouble.
trouble with the subject-object thing here, Sienna. Who's getting whom in trouble
Hey,
here?
I could take your boots off too, dude. So.
There you go. You've been booted.
Oh, this is a real fun evening, everyone. Oh, my goodness. This is going really well.
Let me ask you, Mayor, you've got a very busy schedule ahead. How do you choose and pick the events you want to go to, the people you got to shake hands with, and the yahoos you got to give out?
Well, I Yahoo everywhere. Being a Yahoo, I Yahoo. But quite seriously, one of the really exciting things about Stampede is that volunteers across the city do great things in their communities for their neighborhoods. They'll have a ball tournament. They'll have a pancake breakfast just in their own neighborhood. They'll have a block party. Those are the things I love. If we've got people out there doing stuff for their neighbors, I will go. And boy, oh boy, am I going to every corner of this city over the next 10 days.
And that's the theme of this, is that we are great together.
That is exactly right. One of the things that I love about the Stampede, and I think their slogan for their 100th anniversary, which is greatest together, is exactly right. You know, I don't know in 1912 what Guy Weedick and Florence Ledoux and the Big Four thought they were building. I'll tell you an interesting piece of trivia, though. In 1912, Calgary had 40,000 people. That first parade in 1912 had almost 100,000 people at it.
And now we're looking at about 1.5 million, I think, visiting Stampede.
Yes, absolutely. So it's huge, but it's not just Mardi Gras. It's not just a festival. It's run by volunteers. It lives in the community. Something about Stampede is in the bloodstream and the DNA of every Calgarian. You know, we're people from around the world. We look different. We come from everywhere. This is a modern, cosmopolitan, diverse city. But for 10 days, we put on hats and boots because everyone looks good in a hat, and we celebrate something that brings us together. We live and work and be and breathe in our community, and that's what's exciting for me.
Let me ask you one final question. When you were a kid, okay, you watched the parade, which, as we said, will get, I think they were expecting about 350,000 people for the parade. There are
Millions watching on TV.
Yeah, 2 million watching on TV, more than 100 entries, all that stuff into the parade, which runs tomorrow, by the way, and CBC will be carrying it. But when you used to watch that, did you ever think that you would actually be the mayor of this city, leading that parade, getting the communities together to make it bigger and better and more spirited?
What do you mean when I was a kid? When I was running in 2010, I was standing there at the parade wearing my not exactly right hat, which I learned from many people. You got to have the right hat. And I remember tweeting out saying, all right, it's true. The only reason I'm running for mayor is so I can ride in that parade. And last year, sitting on top of Garfield, and Garfield and I will be hanging out at the parade again this year, nice. And looking out across the city, looking at where we've been and where we're going, I went, oh yeah, there's been a lot of great things about me being mayor of Calgary. I've flown in jet fighters. I've been interviewed by Suhana Marchand. Lots of big deals. But there's nothing like riding a horse at the head of the Calgary Stampede Parade.
That is so wonderful. We'll be watching for you tomorrow. And remember, Sean, what's your advice about horses? You got to give it to the mayor. You got to get in the driver's seat and don't let go of your steering wheel. No, you said something about a sexy dismount. That's not what he said earlier,
so
Mayor.
I can tell you that, I deal with the city council all the time, so getting in the driver's seat I can handle. The sexy dismount, well, there is a reason I go past the end of the parade before I get off the horse.
Wonderful to see you. Enjoy the gala tonight. Enjoy the rest of the Stampede.
And what a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Take care, Mayor.
Thank you.
All right.
All the best.
You just never know who you're going to run into here.
No, that's
Don't you find that there are... Don't you find there are so many fascinating people with Stampede stories?
Well, one of the terrific events bring together terrific people, of course, and this is one that really taps the spirit.
Yeah.
It's a spirit-oriented idea, don't you
Hey,
think?
there's a new float this year, speaking of spirit. It's called the Spirit Horse.
Very nice. Tell me more.
And that's about the connection with the First Nations and their involvement from 100 years ago to today when the parade goes. So Spirit Horse, keep an eye out for that at the parade. One of the beautiful things about the Calgary Stampede and its history is, celebrating the way of life. Yes. And it's a Western world. It's a Western way of life. And these people made their livings for many, many, many years. Mm-hmm. Cattle and crops and, learning how, forced to cowboy. And it's one of those events. It's kind of like a sporting event now, but it's way deeper than that. It goes into the history of our native culture and the blending of the cowboy culture and the native culture coming together. It's not like the native culture didn't have their own herds and their own crops and things like that. So this is a beautiful blend, and especially the native village that we have here this year is a good example of that history. And as the mayor said, the theme this year for the Centennial Stampede, Greatest Together. Hey, you know how to corral someone? I see a pretty girl, you might want to get that rope ready. And he's roped in Dragon's Den Diane Buckner, who knows how to wield a whip, because you really, Diane, have to take care of that crew on Dragon's Den. So there are a few of, Dragon's Den-like people floating around. How are you keeping them in check, including your husband?
Yes, that's always a challenge, Suhana. But actually, I'm not calling any shots here today. I'm being bossed around, so that's fine with me. I don't have to be the Dragon Wrangler today, and I'm quite happy with that.
What are you looking forward to most, Diane, in the days here over Stampede?
Well, I'm really looking forward to stopping spending, Suhana, because everything I'm wearing I've bought here, and I've really given a boost to the Calgary economy while I've been here. I'm a Toronto girl.
Okay, tell us about this.
I don't have cowboy hat. I don't have all that stuff, so I've been very busy with that. But no, seriously, I'm looking forward to the Stampede. I've never been. This is my first time.
I think this is...
As old as I am, I've never been to the Calgary Stampede. I'm really looking forward to it.
This is Western chic. So we've got bling on the shirt. Bling is important, isn't it, Diane?
I feel bling is very important, Suhana.
the buckle is really important now. And the belt. So is that one of those belts where the buckle comes off?
Oh, this is actually my old belt. I've had this belt for years, but everything else.
Well, you were halfway there before you even got here.
Exactly.
So there is a bit of cowgirl in you.
There is a little tiny bit of
Now
cowgirl.
tell me about the boots.
Yeah, I need to know about the boots
I know.
myself.
I've been getting a lot of compliments on the boots. They're old Gringo brand. Okay, and
Gringo.
I paid probably double what I was hoping to pay, but then again, I'm a total cheapskate, so. I'm not a dragon, okay? Like, I'm not like an Arlene Dickinson who's got millions to spend on footwear. I have to be on a budget.
If I may add something about the boots, you can't not spend on a good pair of boots.
Well, see, you would know that, Sean.
You've got
I
to
would not
spend
know
good
that.
money on a good pair of boots, you know.
Because if you're
if
going to
you're looking
sleep
for a
in them.
bargain, you're
Have you tried taking them off yet, Diane?
Yeah, I took them off, gave myself a little foot rub a few minutes ago.
Okay, so I got the
It takes a while to break
100
'em in, that's for sure.
anniversary Stampede boots. These are Justin. And Lamley's helped me pick these out, and I got to thank Carmen and Carly and Shelley at Lamley's because they did a great job. But I haven't taken them off yet.
Very good. Well, the other thing I should say I'm looking forward to is I have a lot of family here in Alberta. My brother he moved from Toronto 15 years ago, and he started a company here in Calgary. It must be something in the air. You know, they always say, you know, the business climate is so vibrant, and sure enough, he came here, started a company. So he's based here with his wife and 3 little boys. And then, of course, David, my husband, has all kinds of family here. So we're having like a giant Stampede, fam-damly get-together.
And David, you mentioned David Kitching. David and I used to host a show called What's New? An eon ago. He was adorable and a hunk then, and he is today. And not only that, but he's a fabulous producer, director. He has this zen quality about him where in the eye of a storm, Sean, David Kitching will be calm.
good men rise to the occasion. That's all I can say.
But I so wish I had brought my postcard of a picture of David and Suhana when they were hosting this show together.
Do you actually have one?
What's new? Yes, it's like a postcard, a promotional thing that was made.
Nice.
They both look like they're 12 years old. I mean, they're probably like 20-something, I don't know, but it's just an adorable picture.
Well, they
and
still
you're,
look
you're
pretty,
still
right?
adorable, of course, Suhana, as you know.
Well, Diane, thank you so much. Great to talk to you. You are the essence of Western chic, and I want to see you in that in Toronto because we need to bring some of this Western culture and spirit and pride. You know, we should take that to Toronto, and I think you and I should walk down Yonge Street in our cowboy hats.
I'll be there, Suhana.
I'll call you.
Nice to see you. See you later, Diane.
Oh, well, speaking of chic,
Oh my
guess who I
gosh.
see coming down the road? How are you?
Good, Chris.
Steven,
nice to see you.
Chris.
Steven.
This is the big hug fest. Okay, so wait, can we practice this hat kissing?
Okay.
Okay, you gotta turn.
Open your mouth. Oh, sorry. That's a different show.
And then you gotta turn this way.
There we go. Yeah.
That's how you do it, because if you do it the way you normally would,
Bonk.
bonk. No, exactly. And you don't want to see my hair under there now. That's the thing, right? It's the thing with the hat.
Well, it's called the dip and tilt. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting off the stage. Dip and tilt away, boys.
Right on. They put me into this. They put me between a rock and a hard spot, talking about taking somebody's boots off, and then it got into this big mess with taking the mayor's boots off. And no, dude. No, he's a wonderful guy. He's a wonderful. Well, I offered, and he turned me down. So.
Well, why don't we do the boot look? Okay, not the. Did I say boot look or boot lick? Okay, let's do the boot lick. You guys always get me in trouble too, you know.
Every time we see you.
I
every time we see
know.
you.
I don't know. I think it's you. It's not me.
Oh, really? I want you. I know you. I got my eye on you.
Okay, so these are the half boots, or these are
This is actually a
shoes?
shoe, and you know, I don't have the cowboy boots, and I didn't get here in enough time to get shopping for them. So tomorrow.
Well, can you
I'm
change
out.
that for tomorrow?
I've got to.
Okay, Chris, you have the hat though.
I got the hat yesterday. Arlene Dickinson actually helped me pick it out.
And that's a good one, man. It's a good shape for you.
Did she
Yeah,
pay
no,
for it? Because Diane Buckner says she can afford it.
She is so cheap, that woman. That's why she's so damn rich.
But the whole thing, I didn't understand. So, but first you had sort of this straw kind of hat, and Arlene said no. But I mean, but what's the whole sort of thing with the hats? You know, I mean, well, the shape. Like,
well, there's a bit of a tradition, I guess, with that too. If you go into a shop like Lamley's, for example, you'll see a ton of hats, and they're all a similar shape. They're blocked in that way. When you get it, it's up to you, the individual cowboy, the individual man, the individual woman, to shape it for you.
you can just kind of sculpt it a bit. I didn't know that.
Like a baseball hat. Like
Right?
you never buy a baseball cap.
But you
put
don't-
it on. You always
get a little
have to-
squish in the
yeah.
middle.
I tried on the straw one, and she said, you look like Elle McPherson, like you're trying to be Elle McPherson on the beach on the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's not the look I'm going for here. I'm going for a cowboy chic look. Do not want to look
However,
like I'm on the beach.
You know what? You guys are such a great team. That
Oh, thank
even
you.
dressed, you're a team because you've got the hat.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Stephen, you've got the boots. Tell me about are these your boots or did
Yeah,
you buy
no,
them
those are
here?
No, I had these for years and years and years, and I finally got to crack them out, which was great. No, these are like good old stock that.
You don't wear those at home, man. You got to wear those at home.
You know, unfortunately, I never do. Yeah. So, but you know what? I think I probably will.
Okay, well, you know what you have to do with boots is scuff them up. You got to go out on the pavement and
gotta work it,
you got to,
you gotta
yeah,
work it
you
out.
got to. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they're really slippery on the carpet.
Very true. Yeah, yeah. No, these are pretty good and worn in. Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you having a good time?
You know what? I love to have a good time, as you know, because you work hard, you play hard, and this is a place where you can play hard.
I think the biggest party in Canada going on right now.
And can we just talk about how much Alberta beef we've been eating?
Oh my
God!
gosh.
We were just talking about this earlier. We've eaten so much that we're getting the meat sweats.
I
Kid you
didn't
not.
know there was meat
And
sweats,
it's-
but we're getting
I know,
them.
we're getting them.
It's like, how many things of beef did you have today? Like 8?
It's like, okay, you know what?
8 is for breakfast.
We did.
I had beef bacon. Is there such a thing?
Do you know how long it takes to digest? I'm not going to tell you.
No,
I got
that's-
so many
no,
facts. I'm not
that's a
going to
topic
share
we're
that
not
one
going to
with
talk
you.
about. We're just going to talk about how much we love Alberta beef.
Right?
Right, there you
Nowhere else to
go.
get it.
Oh, now change the tune. We love the beef.
Yes, we sure do.
So you're having beef for dinner and you're having beef for
Breakfast,
breakfast.
dinner,
Breakfast,
and
you
lunch.
name it. You name it. It's happening.
Bring on the beef.
Tell me what you take away with you when you go back to Toronto, and this is a memory, a good memory, I hope. What are you hoping to take back with you? What in your heart?
I think, but this morning the pancake breakfast was fantastic. The sense of community was amazing. The turnout was unbelievable.
They made more than 6,000 pancakes.
Wow, yeah, yeah, and we have to applaud that, you know, and that was amazing to see, you know, and it was every walk of life, you know, kids, you name it, and it was everyone just coming together, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
You know what? For me, I really think it's the hospitality that you see here. It's like a Western hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you see in the movies. You know, everybody's so generous. They're so outgoing. They're so fun. So I really do think that the people are really the Stampede.
And when you got off the plane at the airport, did somebody welcome you to Calgary and welcome to Stampede?
We kind of snuck in just quickly like this, trying to find our luggage. We were still on sort of Toronto
Okay, well,
mode.
you know what? Maybe they didn't
Hiding
welcome
from
you,
people.
but they welcomed me.
Did they welcome you?
Yes, they did.
Well, I don't like
and
this
then,
place
I
after
don't
all.
know.
I'm outta
I
here.
think, there's something wrong here.
I'm so out of here. I had to take my hat, stamp out of here. Oh, no, I'm not.
Sign it first. Sign it first.
Well, a pleasure.
Yes,
Enjoy the stay. Oh, yes.
Yeah, dip and tilt. Nicely done. Mwah.
Great seeing you guys as always. You rock.
Take care.
All the best, you guys.
Bye. Stephen and Chris. I'm Stephen and
Yeehaw.
Chris. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna leave. There's a big guy coming up here. Come
Oh,
on
look
in
at this.
here.
We have
Ron McLean. My gosh.
Hockey Night in Canada guru right
I
here.
love every time I
Nice
see
to
you.
see you, Ron.
I get a big grin on my face because you leave me in awe. You know why? Because you're such a good-hearted guy. I've seen you at charity events. I've seen you at the Easter Seals Telethon. I have seen you speak on so many occasions. I know, but you know what? That's how I feel. So it's wonderful to be with you. Tell me what the feeling is in your heart when you're here and you're seeing all these people having a great time.
Well, as Jan Arden, who I got to work the parade. Imagine 26 years of grapes, and then they give me Jan Arden. That's like, is there not a workers' compensation board? Somebody to give me a break? But anyway, I'm looking forward to working the parade with Jan. You know, thrilled to death. But I will say, and Jan would say, Ron, don't be dragging black clouds along with you. But Ed Whalen and Harley Hotchkiss and Doc Seaman, and it's going to be the 100th anniversary celebration of a really big event here. And so I was thinking about a few of the names that are gone for us, and that's the only sadness that's kind of running through it. Otherwise, great shindig. You know, so Hannah, my great honor, I always said the two nice ones were honorary colonel, because Mom and Dad were military, and I got to be a parade marshal in 2000 with Bret the Hitman Hart, and it was really funny because Sean here, Red Deer boy, great actor. Well, I was 2000 on the float, and we were going around with Rob Matthews of the Stampede Board, and Sam Elliott had been the actor from Hollywood, had been the year before. And Rob said it was really funny with Sam. The women were swooning. They were all coming up to the float, and at the one corner we got 24 roses. At the next corner we got panties and a bra. And I'm feeling kind of inadequate.
Did you get anything?
Nothing. I was creating no action whatsoever until about 2 blocks from the end, Colin Sheedy, a kid from Red Deer I played football with, roared up with a tray of Baileys and coffee and champagne and orange juice, and I was saved.
Yes, you were. And not only that, but your honor as well.
Oh, I'm telling you, I had nothing going for me, and that was a great, and it's funny because we have connections to the Keg and Red Deer, is where Sean and I both spent a lot of our Red Deer youth, and I got engaged at the Keg, and they specialized in a couple of those drinks.
Yep, I married a girl that I met there, and yeah.
So you guys have known each other for a while.
Well, yeah. We have. We don't see each other very often at all. It's been years and years, actually, but
back to back on Sunday nights, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Blades in its day.
Blades. Yeah, so small towns, you know, they produce some big things sometimes, Ron.
Well, I don't even know where to begin. You know, Innisfail, Alberta is right below us in Red Deer, 10 minutes on the other side of Antler Ridge, and that's the Danes family's first family of rodeo. Dwayne Danes is a great hero of mine, Saddle Bronc champion, 3-time all-around champ. The whole family, I can't say enough. Kurt Browning, Caroline, but he went to school in Innisfail. I was telling a story about head of Trans-Canada Corp, the former president, Hal Kisley. He came out of Innisfail, and he ended up running the biggest oil and gas in the world, you know, the pipeline business. And he had a neat idea about how the reason Alberta is successful, people think, is our natural resources. But the fact of the matter is, it took our engineers, it took some know-how and some innovation to go and get at that gas and that oil. And it was tricky to do. Tar sands is proof of that, the shale things that they do. And they invested, they found ways. And, you know, so he had a great, like rodeo, we're always defending ourselves about rodeo. It's the same with this, you know, situation, obviously. The neat thing about Albertans is if they found a way to do that, they can find a way to do it safe. And we grew up in a very place you're very proud of. And Innisfail is just one example, Sean, of what you're saying. It blows me away.
You know, my dad said, yeah, we might not have an ocean here in Alberta, but if we did, it would be bigger than yours.
And that says it all.
Yeah. So there's just about everybody that you mentioned here, Ron, have a connection to Stampede and rodeo. And you being from where you're at, this is not your first rodeo, I must say.
First one was 1984, and I remember, and a lot of people had this experience, I was behind the chutes and feeling a little bit cocky by day 4, and the wild horse race was just chaos. It was the most ridiculous event, and I remember a cowboy got kicked and he was damaged pretty good, but he, you know, he survived it, thank heavens. And Dwayne Danes, as I mentioned, this cowboy who broke his back in 1995 in Armstrong, BC, rodeoing out there, always had the thing, you know, you pat him honor, and it's just a great. And I'm so that
He's going to be the parade marshal.
think of that 4-strong win.
Oh boy.
Fall, and even the line about, you know, we've been through this 100 times, kind of ties in with the 100th anniversary. Probably the greatest song ever written, and you know, he's the real deal. He's just like another guy that's been raised, and he went away, like I have done, but he had to come home. It just kind of.
Is this home?
Oh, Mom and Dad are Cape Breton, Northsiders. A little bit of that in me as well. But Alberta's clearly, you know, where my values are, and I think they're like the Stampede itself. You know, they're very egalitarian, even if they may skew politically some ways. I don't think they're without respect for all, and I think, like I said, that word innovation kind of comes back. Albertans find a way to make your beach smaller than theirs.
You are going to be a great leader of that parade with Jan Arden, carrying it live on CBC, by the way, so all of our viewers, there'll be more than 2 million viewers, Ron, catching that parade, living vicariously through you. Thank you so much. Okay,
nice
cheers.
to see you, Ron.
Ron MacLean joining us here. You know his face, and he's got that spirit and heart of Alberta in him.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's a guy that knows most about everything.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy, as I said.
What a terrific spokesperson.
Joining us, Sean, just to your left.
Oh, my goodness. Look who we have. Oh my gosh.
Allison Redford, happy Stampede, Premier of Alberta, joining
Premier
us
of
here.
Alberta, my home province. Oh my gosh, nice to see you. Hello, hello.
You look so tiny standing beside Sean there. You know, it's like he's just enveloped you with his arms.
Well, my grandmother was 4'10", so you know, I'm tall in my family.
As you prepare for 10 days of lots of people and lots of breakfasts and lots of dinners, what is it that just keeps you going, that keeps your spirit up?
You know, it's families and community. My favorite part of Stampede is the pancake breakfasts. Getting out there, and I have the opportunity to flip a lot of pancakes, which we talked about.
You were there at CBC's Pancake Breakfast doing just that.
Fantastic, and there's generations there, and there's kids, and there's new Albertans and new Canadians, and generations of people, and there's a real sense of community, and it's something very, very special, I think, right now in Alberta and Calgary. And with the 100th anniversary of the Stampede, and even really the Stampede is a parallel to our province almost in terms of history, it's a fantastic time to just celebrate our past and our future.
What do you make of the theme this year, you know, Greatest Together? We were talking earlier about Spirit Horse, the new float in the parade tomorrow.
Yes. Well, everything that the Stampede organization does is about welcoming new people. You know, I believe the values of the Stampede are discipline, hard work, and always have been about building for the future. And I think those are the same values that we have as Albertans. And so whether you're an Albertan that's lived here for generations, or you're someone who's new to the province who believes in building the future for your family, it's a great time to be here. And it's something that we can all celebrate and find a common theme in.
Allison Redford, I know you want to get into that gala, so I don't want to keep you. Have a great time over the Stampede. A pleasure seeing you again.
Enjoy the parade.
Okay, thank you.
Have a lot of fun.
Alberta Premier Allison Redford joining us here on the red carpet. I'm going to leave you to Cassie Campbell and Melissa Hollingsworth just for a moment,
Here's
Sean.
Melissa Hollingsworth. Hello, sweet. And the beautiful Cassie Campbell Pasco. Hello.
Lucky guy.
I know, look at me today. Look at me today. Two beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women here at the Calgary Stampede, and two world-class athletes. You guys blow me away whenever I've seen you do your thing. I'll start with Melissa. You are a cowgirl at heart. I know that. So tell me a little bit about just what you do on the ranch, and maybe some aspiration to race a few barrels, eh?
Well, I grew up on a ranch in central Alberta. My dad raises bucking horses, which you're going to see a couple of them here. Calgary Stampede,
nice.
Yeah. The great Pedro, who Wayne Bolt bought 2 years ago in Black Feathers. Those are outstanding horses that definitely know their job, and they're going to be performing here the next 10 days. And as far as barrel racing, yeah, that's these girls. I'm competing against them. They're my friends, and I'm very honored that I get to actually call the barrel racing here and tell their stories.
Well, I'd like to see you out there giving them a run for the money, for sure. And Cassie, Brooke is your daughter.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if she's going to be a barrel racer or a hockey player. What do you think?
Well, I think the good news is that she can pretty much grow up to do whatever she wants to now as a woman, which maybe wasn't the case, you know, when our mothers were growing up and at our age. So that's really exciting, and some great role models to look up to, like Melissa and, of course, my former teammates. And whatever she wants to do, she's got to do something, because I'm going to make sure she stays out of trouble. So hopefully play some sort of sport.
Right on. The Calgary Stampede is full of memories. It's full of experiences, for sure. And you know, you've been in Calgary for a while now, Cassie. And how about sharing one of your Calgary Stampede experiences?
Well, you know, no one's going to believe this, but I actually saved Jason Glass's horse one time in a back barn. He had won the chuck wagon race. I forget what year it was. And, of course, there was a big party, and everyone had way too much to drink. And I happened to grow up knowing a little bit about horses, not like yourselves, but a little bit. And I was walking through the barns, and I noticed that the horse had fallen down the stall and it needed to be walked. It was just too hot. And I went up to one of the ladies, and she thought, oh, you're just some drunk girl like back here. You don't even know what you're talking about. I said, no, come with me, please. Yeah. And sure enough, the horse needed to be walked. And it was one of Jason Glass's horse. And so anyway, that's my claim to fame, is that I saved one of his horses. But really, I didn't. My husband's going to kill me for telling that story.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty, that's a pretty honorable story, Cassie.
Melissa and Cassie, great to see you. And I want to introduce
we're going to see you out there for sure, I'm sure, right away.
Before you get off, I just want to introduce you to Dean Brody. Dean, how about meeting two fabulous athletes, Cassie,
Melissa Hollingsworth.
And Corb Lund, come on in here. Thank
Right
you so
on.
much, girls. All right,
Have some fun, girls, and have a few mini donuts on the old Midway.
So now I get to just stand here and look at 3 good-looking cowboys. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3 all in a row here.
I'm holding up okay, man. I'm holding up. I could use a shot of tequila, mind you.
And
You're not packing, are you?
we were talking earlier about the importance of whiskey and tequila at the Stampede, Sean. What do you think, Corb?
About whiskey and tequila?
As part of a Stampede tradition.
I think it's fantastic.
Is he your kind of guy?
He's a true Albertan.
Dean Brody, you and I were talking about drinking out of cowboy boots.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting, but I mean, some alcohol just is disgusting anyway. It probably would actually do it a favor by drinking out of a boot.
Everybody here puts on their hats, their cowboy boots, and they come here with a sense of freedom. For you, is that through your music? Let me ask you first, Corp.
Can you rephrase the question?
Yeah, like, does your music give you a sense of freedom, you know?
Yeah, it does. I'm lucky. I've been able to write exactly what I want to write in my songs, and no one's ever told me to change it. And so, yeah, I'm getting by doing exactly what I want. So, yeah, I feel pretty free.
I do have to ask you about Ian Tyson as well. You're playing with him over the Stampede. What are you looking forward to most?
It's been really fun singing with him. Yeah, he's putting me through my paces with the harmonies because all his years with Ian and Sylvia, he's a really good harmony singer. So he's been drilling me. So I'm looking forward to trying that out live. I'm not much of a harmony singer, so.
Dean, what about for you? What are you looking forward to most in this Stampede?
Well, we're leaving in the morning at 7 o'clock, so I got to get it all in tonight. Just looking forward to hanging out with you guys and playing some music and listening to Corb and his band. We're going to Cavendish next.
What are you doing?
Playing a show out in PEI.
So you're going from here all the way down east at 7 o'clock in the morning, so you're not sleeping tonight.
I'll get a couple hours, but they won't be good hours.
That's all you need, brother.
That's all. I got the
It's
airplane.
the Calgary Stampede,
I
man.
got the airplane. Texas in the morning.
You're going to Texas?
I got 5 Texas shows before the Ian ones start.
Well, I guess I'm stuck with you, Sean. Are you staying or are you leaving me too?
You could do worse.
I want to thank you, boys. We can't wait to hear you in the gala performance tonight. Great to see you again. Thank you. Yeah,
Nice
okay.
to see you, boys.
Safe
Right
journeys.
on.
Dean Brody, Corb Lund, and Sean Johnston.
I'm
You know
coming to
what?
see that show, Corb.
So those two cowboys ditched me.
Yeah.
I still got
No, they
Sean
didn't.
Johnston.
No.
I'll tell you.
No, they didn't.
Hey, a pleasure seeing you all. Enjoy the CBC Live. I'm Suhanna Marchand.
I'm Sean Johnston, and this is
Yahoo Cowtown.
Calgary Stampede 100.
Okay, Till.